and guard your heart in the way. The timing of your words often decide your success or failure in a situation. Proverbs 29:11 says, a fool utters all of his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards. The words of a wise woman are consistently kind. Proverbs 31:36. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. Right words bring health and healing. And in Proverbs 12:18, it says the tongue of the wise is health. Health. Your words can become the trap that destroys you. Proverbs 6:2 says, thou art snared with the words of your mouth. That's why you need to watch what comes out of your mouth. And see, when you learn how important your words are, when you say something that you know you shouldn't have said, nip it in the bud. Because words are seeds. They are seeds. And they get planted in the wrong heart. I mean, they will produce a crop. You take a child and plant the wrong word in a child's mind at a very early age. And those words get planted inside of that child's mind. Just like we see the craziness now that they're trying to do with our children. A little boy born with a boy's parts, and they want to say, no, you can be a little girl if you want to. That's a lie from hell. But you get that child's mind is innocent. Your mind don't fully mature until science says to you about between 25 and 30 years old. So you think the damage that can be done to a child who's immature. And you plant the wrong seeds in that child's mind at a very early age. I remember doing an evaluation on a young man and his son. His son had got caught drinking at a school. So they brought him in, and juvenile had got a hold of his case. And brought him in, and so meeting with him and his father, talking with him. So I asked the little boy, he was 13 years old now. I said, well, how old were you when you started drinking? The little boy said, well, I was 5 years old. Now his daddy sat there. The little boy said, I was 5. His daddy said, boy, you ain't started no drinking when you 5 years old. This is what he said. He said, Daddy, you remember when you lived in that little greenhouse? He said, you gave me some of your beer.
Totally.
Well, his daddy dropped his head. See, that thing got planted in that boy. Now the boy's 13. But he started drinking when he was 5. Because his daddy didn't think anything was wrong with it. Now the boy's in trouble. Now he's got a problem. He's 13 years old. Now he's got a juvenile case because he got caught drinking at school. So I had to tell the little boy, so why don't you go sit out there in the foyer and let you and me and Daddy have a little talk. See, be careful about things like that. This is serious, serious business about how words can affect your life. People saying the wrong words to you. Or something may have happened to you when a child. Somebody might have said something to you. Lots of times we can carry around stuff on the inside of us. Those words. Sometimes, a lot of times words are more powerful than somebody physically hitting you. Physically hit you, get over that a little bit. But sometimes those words, I've known people where their words, 20, 30 years done passed by, and they still heard because something somebody said 20 years ago. And those words, see, those words still haunt them. Still haunt them. After all that time, those words, they in their mind. They still carrying around that hurt or whatever it was that person done to in their minds. Words. Say that. Say words.
Words.
The wise avoid the pressure of those who constantly speak wrong words. Proverbs 14:7 says, go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. Did you hear what I just said? Go from the presence of a foolish man, and now perceive it not in him the lips of knowledge. Only the simple and fools believe everything others say. Proverbs 14:15 says, the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. See, a prudent man is a man or woman who knows how to make right decisions. Right words give you access to the powerful and important people. Proverbs 16:13. The king is pleased with words from righteous lips. He loves those who speak honestly. Wisdom is necessary in order to speak the right words. Proverbs 16:23 said, a wise man's heart guides his mouth, and his lips promote instruction. You know when you go for like an interview for a job, and determine your attitude and how you answer what they ask you, you're going to determine whether or not you get that job. If they ask you, say, why should we hire you? Oh, I don't know. Would you hire him? There's people that go and apply for a job like that. I remember being hired me for a position in his company. It was 2 owners, and I applied for the job as one of the assistant managers. And so when they interviewed me, this is what the guy asked me. He said, what do you want to accomplish at this company? He's one of the owners. And I said, I'd like to have your job. He said, my job? I said, well, you asked me. I'd like to have your job. He said, oh, okay. And this is one of the owners. But you know what happened? I ended up with his job. That wasn't a prideful thing. He asked me the question, and I told him honestly. I said, I would like to have your job. Well, I did end up with his job. See, I believe what I say. I don't talk foolishness. I've learned this. And if I say something I shouldn't say, I am quickly to correct myself. I will even do it if I'm behind a pulpit and I say something I shouldn't have said. I'll correct myself in front of them people. You say, you do that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, I'm growing. I'm in a learning mode. I ain't trying to impress somebody. No. I said, no, you don't understand. I'm growing. I'm learning. The Lord let me know I say something the wrong way. I'll correct it right then. Well, they understand it or not, but I understand it. I didn't say that right. Because see, I know how important my words are. I don't speak negative words over people. That's why, being a counselor, all the years I was a counselor, I never addressed a person that came in the program. I never addressed them as a drug addict or an alcoholic. I didn't say they had alcohol or drug problems. But my job is to try to help them overcome it. I just saw another person. Because see, I look at them the way God looks at them. I just see them the way God sees them. They may not see themselves that way. But that's the way I treat them. I just see another human being with an issue in their life. Because that's all it is a bad habit and an issue. That's all it is. My job is to help them and give them the kind of information that will help them see, this can be fixed. And if you don't want to be labeled that way, you don't have to be. Because those are words that somebody planted in your head. Come on. And you begin to identify with them long enough, you actually see yourself like that. And that is the wrong image of yourself. That's not the way God sees you. He sees you fearfully and wonderfully made. That's the way He sees you. That's the way I see you. I just see another person that's got this issue, and my job is to help them. So I call them by their name, whatever their name may be. But I don't say, here's another drug addict, here's another alcoholic. That ain't nice. I mean, that's not nice. That's not who that person is. That just may be the way they're behaving. You see what I'm saying? But that's really not them. And it takes time when you've been identified with some negative behavior like that. It takes time for you to root up. So you got to root them old words out of them. And get them to begin to speak positive over their life. To quit seeing themselves like that. Now, if they want to stay that way, ain't a whole heap I can do for them. And very little that God can do for them. Because if they don't want to receive His word, what He going to do? So I just see another person. And I just see, that's all I just see. I see, and now somebody else in the same field with the same credentials I have, they may see, well, that's a drug addict right there. That's an alcoholic. That's how they perceive you.
Come on.
That's their opinion. But when you begin to not quit seeing yourself like that, that's their opinion. It don't mean you got to agree with it.
Exactly.
Because when you're a born-again child of God, that's who you are.
Yeah.
See, your mind has to be renewed to speak those words until they get engrafted down on the inside of you. You take this is a good illustration. A Marine, a person that's been in the Marine. Anybody been in the military right here? Any of y'all have been in the military? A person that's been a Marine, and because of what a Marine, in the Marine is different than other parts of the military. In the Marine Corps, when a Marine gets through with his service or retires, because